The young man had just gotten married when his wife, whom he had known for less than a day, changed clothes right in front of him. Without any hesitation, she walked straight into the bathroom to take a shower. Afterward, she casually asked him to bring her sleepwear. She even ordered him to blow dry her hair, as if they had been married for years. Just then, his secretary called with shocking news. It turned out that this husband, whom she had just married in a flash, was the long-lost son of the richest family. She never expected that a quick marriage for the sake of a family alliance would lead her to accidentally marry a future billionaire. The truth was, the young man had been waiting at the civil affairs office for his girlfriend to pick up the marriage certificate, but unexpectedly, his girlfriend rejected him for not being able to provide the luxurious life she desired and left him standing there. She then threw herself into the arms of the adopted son of the richest man. What he didn't know was that the adopted son already had a fiancée, and that fiancée was the beautiful CEO of a wealthy family. The CEO knew the man was a playboy. She immediately rejected the arranged marriage, but she couldn't make the richest family lose face. So, to find a reasonable excuse to refuse the marriage, she decided to randomly pick a man off the street to marry as a decoy, and that man happened to be the young man who had just been dumped. Still in the haze of his breakup, the young man didn't even realize what was happening. He was mistakenly assumed by the CEO to have agreed. They took a photo, signed, and stamped the documents all in one go. It wasn't until they were officially married that the young man began to realize what had happened. After the CEO gave him a $30 million jade bracelet as a token of love, he slowly realized he had been dragged into a marriage without understanding how. Even the jade pendant around his neck, which proved his identity, was taken by the CEO as a love token. However, the more she looked at the pendant, the more familiar it seemed. She suddenly realized that it looked identical to the one worn by the long-lost son of the richest family. To confirm whether the young man was really their son, she immediately decided to take a hair sample for a DNA test. The richest family rushed to the hospital after hearing about it. When they saw the DNA results, they were utterly shocked. The report clearly showed that the young man was indeed their biological son. They immediately rushed to meet him. When they learned he was at a class reunion, they hurried there. At the same time, the young man noticed his ex-girlfriend and the adopted son had also arrived at the reunion. He was about to leave but was stopped by the adopted son's lackey. The lackey tried to humiliate the young man to please his master. He learned the young man had been working at his ex-girlfriend's father's company, so he mocked the young man for being a kept man. Little did he know that the young man had contributed more than 80% of the company's performance. On the day they broke up, the young man had immediately resigned. But what he didn't expect was that they were all ungrateful. His father, taking advantage of their relationship, gave him the lowest commission, and even tried to withhold his final paycheck, claiming the young man resigned voluntarily. Little did they know, when he left, the company couldn't even survive the second month. Unaware, his ex-girlfriend mocked him for being nothing after leaving her. The adopted son even suggested that the young man work as a driver for them, and at least he could get some meal money each month. The young man didn't want to deal with these clowns, but then the waiter handed him the keys to a parked Porsche. This scene stunned the group of classmates who had looked down on him. They thought he was a hidden rich kid. In reality, the CEO had told him to pick a car he liked for the reunion. She even upgraded the entire event to the highest level.